Who's in the mood for some ice cream? Welcome back, I'm Michele Spring, and in today's video I'm going to show you 3 different paleo and AIP friendly ice creams. Now when you first probably went on to the paleo or AIP diets, maybe because of your autoimmune disease or some other reason, you may have thought that you weren't going to be able to have ice cream. Well, think again. Now these are not going to be the same kind of cream and sugar laden kind of versions that you're used to, but these are going to be so much better for you, and they're still sweet and cold and delicious, which is exactly what you're looking for when you are craving a sweet treat like this. The 3 different flavors we'll be making today are a chocolate chip, a Pina Colada, and a creamy cherry chocolate. Now 2 of those are banana based, the chocolate chip and the Pina Colada one, and then the cherry chocolate is not banana based.
To start off, for the chocolate chip and Pina Colada ice creams, you'll need to do a little pre-work first. First, you'll need to make some frozen bananas. Just peel and break into several pieces and place on a baking sheet or in a baking dish or plate and put into your freezer for at least 4 hours. Then if you're making the chocolate chip ice cream and you're on the AIP diet, you'll need to make your own Carob chips, as most store-bought ones aren't compliant. Simply just mix melted coconut oil, carob powder, and maple syrup in a small container. Then scoop out onto a parchment-lined plate. Spread it out and smooth it until it's about 1/4 inch thickness. And then pop in the freezer for at least an hour. If you're not on the AIP diet or have successfully reintroduced chocolate, you can use chocolate chips instead. The first ice cream we'll make is the Pina Colada ice cream. This banana-based treat is a great way to feel like you're on a tropical vacation. The ingredients you'll need for this are frozen bananas, frozen pineapple chunks, and coconut milk. Add the ingredients to a bowl of a food processor or blender. It can be done in either. I just prefer the food processor. Then blend for several minutes, stopping every so often to break up any large chunks or to scrape down the sides. It will take approximately 3 to 4 minutes to really get smooth though, so be patient. This is the texture it should be once it's done. You can go ahead and eat it at this time, but do note it will be a little bit soft. Or you can scoop it into a freezer-safe container and store it in the freezer until you want it. When you're ready to eat it, let it sit at room temperature for a few minutes to let it soften up a bit, then scoop into a container and serve. The second flavor is the cherry chocolate. This is a fruit and avocado based dessert full of healthy fats and oh so creamy. For this you'll need frozen cherries, an avocado, carob powder if you're on the AIP diet, otherwise cocoa powder is fine, and some maple syrup. Add these ingredients to the bowl of a food processor or blender and then blend. This won't take as long as the banana based ice creams to become smooth. It'll just be a minute or 2. This is the texture it should be when done, creamy and rich. You can eat it immediately or freeze it for later. And if you're freezing it, scoop it into a freezer-safe container and store in the freezer. And like the last one, when you're ready to eat it, just let it sit at room temperature for a few minutes to let it soften up a bit, then scoop into a container and serve. The last flavor we're making is the chocolate chip. If you've ever had just plain banana-based ice cream, it's good. But the addition of chocolate chips gives it a fun texture and a flavor that I absolutely adore. If you made homemade carob chips, take them out of the freezer and cut them into small pieces. They don't have to be as small as chocolate chips would be, as we'll be breaking them up in the food processor, but you don't want them in huge pieces either. You'll also need some frozen bananas and coconut milk. This time you'll just put the bananas and coconut milk into the food processor or blender, and we'll save the chips for later. Blend until creamy, stopping every so often to break up chunks and scrape off the sides of the bowl. This one, just like the Pina Colada ice cream, takes several minutes to get to a really creamy texture. If you start to see the mixture speeding up, you're getting close. Once it's really done though, it should look really smooth and creamy. At this point, you can add the chocolate chips or carob chips. Then pulse several times to break them up and to mix them into the rest of the ice cream. And this is what it should look like when it's done. I'm really glad I have some left over since it's making my mouth water. So good. Again, you can serve this one immediately or scoop it into a freezer-safe container and then store it in the freezer. And just like the others, let it sit at room temperature for several minutes to soften before scooping and eating. These ice creams are great to store in your freezer for up to 3 months, just in case you have a situation that comes up where you want a frozen treat.
And that's it. Easy, right? Really, really delicious too, and just great for those hot days. You can get the recipes in the description, and if you still are looking for some other dessert ideas, check out this video where I have 3 different Paleo and AIP dessert ideas for you to satisfy that sweet tooth. I'll see you next time.